Hi, everybody. This is Professor Dan, and today we're going to be playing around with iMovie. So, if you have a movie you want to create or a story you want to tell, iMovie is a great tool. And so, we're going to have a couple videos, maybe three, showing you how to use iMovie. And so, if you haven't already, check out the Scraper Redemption or the Scraper Development movie that's up on my YouTube channel. That was just a movie that I created to tell the story of a semester in about 3 minutes. We talk about a scraper, we talk about what's wrong with it, we talk about what we did right when we were trying to improve it, talk about what we did wrong when we were trying to improve it, and then demonstrate our scraper working. So if you haven't seen that, take a look at it, and then we'll talk about some of the elements that we use to create that. So the tool I used was iMovie. And so when we start iMovie, we want to create a project. So when you start up iMovie, go to Projects and then hit Create New. And then we'll want to create a movie. And so when you create a movie, you're going to take all of your clips and combine it with some titles and some audio in a polished way. And so the first tip that I have for you is put all your scraper movies or all your movies into a folder. That way they're all there. So you can see for my scraper movies, I have not just all the movies with the scraper working or not working, but I also have some funny little clips that I did of me being frustrated. Um, so all of it is in one place. And so when we're in iMovies, the area down below is where you grab your clips. And so the middle area is where you drop your video clips, and that's sort of your moving movie. Up above that area is where you have sort of static stuff like either pictures or titles, and below it is where you play around with things like your audio. So if we want to have a movie, the first thing we often do is put in a title. So click on titles and we can click expand. Why not? Drag it down to that middle area, and then I'll just type in Scraper Redemption. And you can play around with the text size in the window to the right. And when you're ready, just hit check, and then you have Scraper Redemption. Now, if you noticed in my video, I had a background. I had this industrial background. But if we try to bring that down, it says replace. Well, I don't want to replace. I want my title to be on top. So, little hint, just move it afterwards and grab your scraper redemption and put it on top. So now your scraper redemption title is on top of that background. And we're going to use that tool when we actually embed some videos as well. So now we have scraper redemption. It's 4 seconds long. If we wanted to make it shorter, I can grab it and I can make it shorter as well. There we go. So scraper redemption, 2.4 seconds hex. Let's make it 2 seconds long. 2, 3, oops, 2. There we go. 2 seconds long. Great. So now if I want to put a video in, I go back to my media and I put a video in. So let's choose this one. I grab it down and I put it on in there. So now our video, if I hit the space bar, it plays the video. And when I move my mouse around, see how there's a vertical line. So wherever I want to start, so let's start at the beginning here. I hit the space bar and it starts just playing the video. There we go. All right. There's a lot of unnecessary things to have in that video. So I don't actually show the scraper until right about here. So why not just start the video there? So I left click to set where my vertical line is. Then I right click and I hit split clip. Now if I click on the video I want to delete, just that area before, I hit delete, gone. And now I show this blade going inside there because it's a piece of junk. And then I want to get rid of everything after. Again, left click, right click, split clip. Then I can hit delete. Now let's say I want to pause right there. I want to show this in a freeze frame. How do I do that? Well, I left click and then I right click. And I have to be on an actual clip so I can slide over. So yeah, right there is my last actual clip. I can click add freeze frame and then I can have a freeze frame. I can make it 3 seconds. I can make it longer, shorter. I can play around with that. There we go. And now the other nice thing is if I want to, if I want to make my scraping go faster or slower, I can click on this clip and I can play around with the timing of my clip. And you can see that it changes from a tortoise to a hare if it's going faster or slower. I can just keep the default time. There we go. So now let's say I want to give a little feedback, whether it's a title or a voiceover. So let me do a title. Let's do a title real quick. I think it's very bad. So let me just say that. I'm going to add that. And I want to have it not as the video, but over the video, right where we start that freeze frame, which is right here, I think. And I say, this is bad. Hit check. And it is bad. And again, you want to sync up your title, the length of your title to the length of your video. So that's bad. It is. Whoops. So now that is bad. But now let's say I want to do a voiceover and I want to say it's bad and heck, it's really bad. How does that work? Well, I hit this little microphone. And if it's in the play, we want to change that. Oops. And so, yeah, you want to make sure that record is out. So right here where I'm saying this is bad, let's just see that I got the right, yeah. So right here where I start saying this is bad, I want to say this is bad. So I hit record. And it gives me a little countdown. This is bad. There we go. And I can just see how that turned out. This is bad. All right, so yeah, that's bad. But I'm a loud guy. And so I want to change this so that I'm not as loud. So I can actually grab this horizontal bar and bring it down. There we go. And this also, when I'm scraping, that's a little loud. So if I click on the video, hit right click, I can actually detach the audio. There we go. So now what you can see is that my audio for the scraping is detached from the movie. It went from this little blue area to down here, and I can actually play around with that. I can lower it down, and I can actually change the length of it. There we go. So yeah, and if I want to say this is bad a little earlier, I can actually overlap too. So here we go. Let's just try it. And you want to keep the start as the start. This is bad. This is bad. And if I want to add another title saying it's really bad, I can extend the length of this a little bit. And I can shorten the length of this a little bit. And I can add another title. I can say really bad. Check on that. And then right there, I can do a new one. This is really bad. There we go. And now we can just go over here. We can test our whole video. We have our title. We have some audio. This is bad. This is really bad. And yeah, we have our first steps at our first videos. So hopefully that was fun. And yeah, we'll see you in the next video where we add some more titles, some background, and things like that. All right, we'll see you soon.